Hey, here we are, almost at the end of the season. In this video, we will finish our peak trailer, including the challenge for the recycled plastic switches. But first, we will clear around our community center with very satisfying time lapse. And also, this is gonna be our last sponsored video of the season, this time by Surfshark VPN. Again. So, there's a lot of stuff happening, it's gonna be a long video. Welcome to a new Pred Camp update.
This big ruin is what we call our community center. We found it the first year, and we cleared it all around. We thought, let's renovate it as a workspace.
A lot of potential.
Then, in Season 2, we decided it will serve better as a community center. Now, in Season 3, we realized we need to build it from scratch. But nature doesn't mind our plans and slowly takes over the area, so we need to maintain the place clean meanwhile. If you want to know more about our plans, you can check update 98. And if you want to know more about nature, then keep on watching.
First, we're going to tackle this huge pile of brambles that is shielding the view from the community center. This pile was actually left here by the last time they worked in the community center. Thanks, Julie. 1 meter and a bit of just dead wood, a pile of dead wood, and then on top 1.5 meters of brambles and ferns, all tangled up together. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Wanna take a dive in?
If only.
Okay, so to give it a bit of a boost in the beginning, we're going to use the brush cutter and we're going to walk over the pile as far as we can.
Beautiful morning, guys. How are we doing?
Lovely!
Oh my god, look what we found here under the pile of deadwood. We have 2 tires, so perhaps we can reuse them. I'm thinking maybe a swing into the lagoon. Hope I'm not like... Okay. Oh, what's that? Is that like old wood? Oh.
And the other one. Okay.
5.
Okay.
Oh, why am I only starting recording now? Oh my god, she went real far. She's coming back. Oh no, she's
Go
not.
see your dad.
She keeps going. Oh, we could place money on this.
Oh, stop.
Oh,
I told you we could have a race. Is there? No, be careful.
Hey.
So first step is done. The pile is gone. Now we can move to the next step. These big mimosas. So as you can see, these mimosas are like really close to the structure. So not only they are blocking the view, they making working here harder. It's also like a risk because they can fall any moment. So they have to go. Goodbye, big girls. So our next step before moving to the inside of the community center is going to be brush cut all of these ferns and weeds that are around here. Let me be, man. Let me play my solitaire. Nice game.
Done. Finito. Nice.
So the wall of brambles has been removed, the ferns have been flattened and the mimosas are down, which means we can now move on to take on the inside of the community centre. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that we already tackled this quite extensively last season. However, as you can see, the bloody brambles have returned. So let's get cracking. The rooms on the right of the community centre, and as you can see there's an interesting rectangular shape here in the middle and a little stairs. I'm guessing it was used for livestock back in the day. So we're going to brush cut all these brambles away and then place them in the middle for them to dry out, and perhaps we can burn them later. Get in there, Mate! Alright, the inside of the community centre is now clean.
So, the big pile is gone, the ferns cut and the community centre cleared. Now we are going to control the mimosas that are growing in the back. Also, there are a lot of dead trees that were cut by the municipality when clearing under the electricity lines. Looks quite dangerous.
Here we are at the back of the community centre. This area was already cleared last year, but as you can see it's pretty overgrown. So let's get to work. I feel like I chopped at least 200 mimosas there. All right, so we're almost done clearing this space behind the community centre. As you can see, we have cleared a lot of the mimosas and there's a lot more space here for us to wander around. But unfortunately we have to pause our efforts for now as we discovered a very angry hornet's nest right in the back over there, and we're just waiting for the fire department to come and take care of it. Not sure if you can see it, but it's this beige basketball that's hanging there between the mimosas. Oh, it's already on Zoom. So the wasp busters have arrived to take care of them.
Vamos fazer
Sim, sim.
introduzir uns dardos com uma mistura de inseticidas com efeito residual e com efeito de choque. O produto com efeito de choque mata rapidamente algumas vespas. O efeito residual é para as vespas ou que ainda não estão eclodidas ou que estão no exterior.
Obrigada.
Se for preciso alguma coisa, se isto não correr bem, dão uma nova participação, queremos reforçar a intervenção.
Bem, sim, colega dito.
In the next 5 days we need to check on the hives and see if they still have hornets inside or if it's completely empty. Fingers crossed.
So it has been quite some time ago since they came to treat the wasp nest, and as you might see in the back, no wasps around anymore. So as you have seen, we have been working a lot around the community center, but we got stuck here. In general, actually, the land is a lot of work to maintain, and we mainly do this all by hand. But we have some good news around this.
Ha! I didn't even realize you were there. We need to talk about Surfshark, the sponsor of this video. Surfshark is a virtual private network, an app that helps you surf the internet in a safe way, changing your IP address and encrypting your data. If you go for Surfshark One package, you also get a search tool that doesn't track you nor show any ads, an antivirus, and you get notified if your data is being leaked, all in one account. Surfshark can be useful because most of us come from different places around the world. You want to see Netflix content only available on your home country? Switch on Surfshark VPN and now you can. Thanks to the IP change and encryption, you get an extra layer of privacy for sensitive information like card numbers, personal data or passwords. Very useful for remote teamworks where you need to share this kind of info. Especially if you are connected to a sketchy public Wi-Fi, which we used to do a lot in the early days here. Surfshark is easy to use, accepts an unlimited number of devices, and is compatible with all operating systems. And now you can get a Black Friday deal with our code Project K. And you get up to 6 months extra with your subscription. And if you don't like it, you have 30 days money back guarantee. Check the link in the description.
Okay, it's good.
Woohoo! Okay, so we just did 4 ads. That means that now we can buy ourselves a tractor. We are not decided whether to buy a tractor or a digger. We are still deciding. You can check the research module where we talk about that. Yeah, but now let's continue with the video.
In previous updates, we bought this old rusty pig trailer. We restored it and built a house on top of it. We just finished the outside, ready for the first rains of the autumn, and we can work in the interior. With Julien and Colin, our French team, we will work hard to finish the house. Let's start.
Okay, back in the trailer. Now that we have done the paneling, we want to separate one bedroom and one living area. For this wall, we're gonna use leftover paneling and some beams that arrived today. And we're also gonna use, to close the space, a sliding door that we found. Let's get to it. These are the beams that we received today. There are 4 of them and we're gonna use them to make the whole structure. we're done with the first part of the inside wall, and for the second one we thought it would be nice for us to use the leftover wood that we have already. So with Julien we're gonna go over it and pick the pieces that we like the most, the color that we fancy, the type of texture we want, get this all in the Pictrator and start this weird mosaic of leftover. Okay.
Now this part is done. Next, this sort of rectangle, this shape. I tried to do something less complex because all of this angle is brain neck. So let's do the top part. So now it's almost finished. We need to hide this part of the socket. I need to cut. I've made all the cut here. A little here just for this piece. Put in and see if it fits. Now, time to do this piece. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so all the mosaic is done. Maybe the most difficult part was this part because that was all the leftover of the leftover. I like this little bookshelf. We can remove if we want. But my favorite part is still this corner.
This was a nice way to reuse our wood leftovers. With some dedication, Julien created this mosaic that is such a contrast with the outside looks of the Pictrator. Next, we are going to install a stove for the winter.
So now we have all the pieces that are gonna be in our chimney. An insulated pipe from the old oven we made in the season 1. Some adapters, pieces to make it a bit nicer. Time to go through the wall and see what happens. Wait, that doesn't look very straight. Little hut of insulation. A window. And here we can see all the layers of the big trailer. We have trespan, buttons, foil, OSB, insulation, foil, and the paneling. So to go through the wall and through the insulation, we will put an extra layer of insulation with aluminum foil around. Hey. Hello. Be careful. Now it's time to install the rest of the chimney. So we have some leftovers from the oven, some new pieces, some connections, and it's time to go up. Not the most static job we ever done, but it's almost about to rain again, so we hope that at least stay dry everything.
Now that we have the pipe, Dave is gonna make a heat wall in the inside.
So we're currently at the local granite place where they cut stone to make things. You can buy many different things. Seems like a lot of people here use it to make their gravestones. And we're gonna try to find some leftover to make around the stove. And they have quite a few funny leftovers. Let me show you. So they have some decoration. Many very small leftovers. Jesus. Wisdom. A very old person. Some random offcut shapes. And a book. Stone book. So they also have all these kind of offcuts, which are much longer. They come from the bigger sheets, and they all have different types. So you have them thick and gray, a bit more colored, polished with a rough edge, very thin, and also a few pieces of marble. So it's quite a cool, diverse mix, and the different color of granite depends on which different region it comes from. So I think we're going to try to put them all together in a row in the back wall with some screws, so we can create a heat-resistant back wall for the stove. So here we are back in the workspace with a nice selection of stones. One noteworthy one I think is cool. It's like this piece of marble, but it's so thin. It's impressive that it's made of stone. But besides that, we have a whole bunch of different thicknesses, colors, textures, so it should look funky. Now what we're going to do next is to drill a hole that we can mount it on the wall. The guy said it's quite difficult to drill holes. He would recommend adhesive or cement to put it together, but we don't like that. We try to avoid these things. And also with the heat of the stove, it's probably just better to have a more mechanical solution. So we're going to try to drill a hole. So for this we have a diamond drill, a drill, some water, and a leftover piece that apparently needs to go underneath the granite to make sure it doesn't crack when you go through. So if you put in a screw now, it still sticks out a little bit here. So we're gonna give it a little chamfer with a bigger drill. But actually actually went much smoother than expected, so I guess we're just going to continue drilling all of them. So we're currently in the house, brought the granite here, and we need to install all of this. So it's going to be a bit of puzzling, especially around the chimney. It's going to be harder because I would still need to cut the granite to work around it. So it's just going to be a bit of a freestyle and puzzle to cover up the wall. So we're going to take a piece of granite. They're all in very different sizes, so we're roughly going to hammer it here in the right size. Once the size is good, we're going to put them here. The first piece is a bit of a rough one, just because it's cool. And on the bottom we don't have a hole because it was a bit too much work to drill. So we're going to use some leftover wood to chop a little block. It's really just a simple little block. And this is going to go on the bottom to secure the granite and make sure it stays in place. And later, once all the granite is in, we're going to build a little bit of a platform where the stove will be on, so the blocks will be covered. So now comes the most challenging part, going around the chimney pipe, because it means cutting the granite and drilling a few extra holes. But luckily I already did that, so now we can just assemble everything and hopefully it fits. So far so good. I think we're going a little bit angled because this one is not super straight. But I think it should be okay. Cool, all fits. Next we need to put those little blocks on the bottom to make sure they're secure. So here's the chimney hole. As you can see, it's cutted around it, but not super accurate. I'm not a pro granite cutter yet. But luckily it's a very common thing that it's hard to go around the chimney pipe, so you have these things to cover it up. Not sure if I like that thing, but it should be functional now. So the wall is in place. Next we're going to make the bottom part. This is going to be a little bit challenging because I didn't want to drill too many holes in the granite. So the floor is going to be against the granite. But as you can see, the granite all has different thicknesses. So we need to make the bottom plate and cut out all the edges of the different granite thicknesses. Which I think still is easier than cutting all the granite. But I'm not sure how this next step is going to be. So for the floor we're going to use some leftover metal that was originally in the trailer. Right there is the pile I had in mind. And there's this big aluminum sheet. So this is the front side with the relief, hard to clean. This is the back, you still see the pattern, but it's smooth. So it should be a bit more convenient. So now I'm going to measure all the granite pieces and draw them on it so we can cut it out. After taking the measures, I started cutting and fitting the metal sheet. Then some polishing. And I built a base with some wooden leftovers. Still had to drill some more holes to attach the metal sheet to the base. And last, some wood finishing for the edges. So the area for the stove is now ready. Aluminum sheet here, wooden finishing around it. So next up is to install the stove, but first we need to clean it up and I'm gonna get some help for that. Yeah.
We got this stove from someone last year. Has been outside for the whole year, so we need to do something with it, try to repair it. Legs are very rusty. We need to clean the glass. Some screws missing. And clean the inside.
Okay, now we have heat in the house, quite essential for the dark and cold winter nights that are coming. Also quite essential is light, and for that we need light switches. They're actually pretty hard to find second-hand, and it always feels a bit painful having to buy this from new plastic, especially knowing that we're gonna need many more of those in the future. So a few months ago we put out a call to Fresh Plastic community to try and develop one in a little contest. For anyone that is able to make a mold to inject with a Fresh Plastic machine, you can get €1,000 for the first one that shows us a working light switch. And we had a winner. So we just received a package from Johann Plasto from Germany, and he made some cool light switches. Nice. He says like how much plastic we recycled, 342 grams. He also has a website, make sure to check it out. Look, nicely packed. Here's the first type of switch. Looks really nice. And here's another type. It's a bit bigger. All are made from polypropylene. And the difference is that one that's in the wall, so it's covered, and one with an enclosure, so it's an outside switch, so you can mount it when you don't have a double wall. Let's see what they look like when we open them up. 3 injected parts made with Fresh Plastic and 1 off-the-shelf piece to make sure it all functions well. Here you can see how they're made. First making a 3D model with the exact sizes, then a 3D printer mold is used so you can make a quick injection to see if all the measurements are correct. And overall this is still a first prototype to see if everything works properly. And you can download all the drawings open source online in the Fresh Plastic community if you want to replicate it. For now we're going to install them and see how they work. Hopefully all good and we can make a final proper mold that we can use in Project Camp for the long term, injecting our own plastic waste into useful items. Now Adrian will install them. To the bone.
So, let's see if it works. It works, it looks nice, but we noticed some little details that maybe doesn't work that good. It's still a prototype. You've seen how the mold is done, so it's the version 1 of this. It wiggles a bit here, and we notice that probably the fitting of these pieces is not perfect in these holes. Normal when you work with these materials. But we will keep on using it, trying out, because that's what we do here, try out things. And try to improve it in the future to see if we can make something very satisfying to press.
Happy to see precious plastic being useful in Project Camp. And also happy we're getting closer to the end. We just need to take care of a few more final details.
And we still have two problems with the door. One is that we don't have anything to open it up. So at the moment we use a screwdriver. And second, this doesn't lock properly because it's just this piece of wood, which probably is going to wear out over time. So it's better if there's some metal around it to lock the door properly. So I found this nice piece of stainless steel from a broken spatula. Used to be one of these things in the kitchen to flip the food, like SpongeBob and his burgers. But it broke over here on the edge. Not a problem, we got a new one. But now I can use this piece of metal to make the holder for the door. So it's gonna be something like this, with a hole inside for the door to lock in, and two screws, so we can attach it. Next we're gonna use this leftover material from the pig trailer to make a little door handle.
Okay, door handle done. We just need some finished touches and Julian seems the right guy to do it.
Here we have a little space, little gap, just like here. I have already cut this piece because it comes from a bigger leftover, just this part. Cut, screw, and it's done. That was easy. Next room now. It's done. So here you can see we have a gap between the paneling and the window. So now we need to put some little piece of wood. Piece of wood are cut. Now I need to cut the side of the window.
cold. I'm gonna send all of this piece of wood inside the room, so it's not really good. That's why ear protection, mask, it's never too much against the dust. Wow! Okay, so the edge of the door is finished. Everything is finished. All the finishing are finished. So, see you.
Okay, we just finished the building, but we still need to clean a bit. And now the big trailer is finished, ready to be used by the team in the winter. It has been an adventure, and we learned a lot on how to renovate and build with reused and recycled materials. It certainly brings limitations and challenges, and sometimes you have to go through the usual way. But we will keep improving in the projects to come.
And that was it for this update. The next one will be the last of this season, where we are going to do some big land works before the winter comes, everybody leaves and the rain takes over. If you want to see it right now, you can support us in Patreon and in the future probably be part of the decision making, like the choosing of the colors of this big trailer. If not, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next update.